Till sponsors Martin vs Joshua on Sky Sports Box Office.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFilm TV in association with Macklin in Marbella. We're at the final press conference of Martin Joshua. I'm joined by Henry Tillman, part of Team Martin.
Right.
How are you,
I'm
Henry?
good.
Yeah?
And you?
Very well, thank you.
Go.
You know probably better than most. How good is Charles Martin?
Charles, you haven't yet to see the best of Charles Martin. For he's still so open for learning. He hasn't shut down thinking he knows everything yet. So he's like a sponge right now. But it's just that he just happened to be the heavyweight champion of the world. But he's so wide open just to learn more and more and more and more, and he gravitates toward learning. And in fact, Coach Jamal, he can explain a little more about that too, because he trains Charles also. We co-train Charles Martin.
How you doing, sir?
Coach Jamal and I.
How are you?
I'm good.
I asked the question to Mr. Tillman. I said, how good is Charles Martin? You guys are the best people to explain that to us.
Well, let me put it to you this way. For the short years that he's been an amateur and a pro, he has a lot more potential to go. They haven't even seen the best of him yet. He ain't even hit the peaks yet.
He wasn't even over here. Just tell him what I said.
It's like you told each other.
I'm sorry to give you the same
That's
answer.
all right.
No, it's good.
It just means you're on the same team.
Yeah,
It just means you're on the same team.
I said pretty much word for word verbatim almost. That he's still wide open to learn. He's like a sponge. Even though he's the heavyweight champion of the world, he's still in learning, but he's open for learning.
Do you believe that people over here are underestimating Charles Martin in this fight against Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Why is that? Because they haven't seen enough of Charles Martin? Because of the opposition Charles has fought? What reason is that, do you think?
Well, it's both.
A mixture
What you
of
just
both,
said,
exactly.
It's both, because they haven't seen enough of Charles, and at the same time, they're grooming a superstar here.
And they want one so bad that they refuse to see the forest for the woods. So they're denouncing everything that they, under normal circumstances, they would identify with. But now because they say, and it looks like his growth is so expiring and so for sure, they've fallen into it. And I think it's their mistake.
It is kind of an unknown thing for a champion, newly crowned champion, only back in January, to come over to somewhere where he's never been before, away from America, to fight what is considered a top UK heavyweight prospect in Anthony Joshua. Why take this fight now?
Well, it means a lot to Charles, and it means a lot to Anthony, but at the same time, we took the fight because we feel he's not ready to step in that spot right now. And it's an opportunity, to come over here and for just to gain his fan base is beautiful. It's a beautiful move for us, and at the same time, when you beat a golden boy, that's saying a whole lot, especially when you go into his neighborhood and beat him. And I look at it like this, it's a golden opportunity for him. As far as Charles Martin, it's a golden opportunity for him.
Henry, how confident are you just finally that Charles Martin will knock Anthony Joshua out this week? He's confident, Charles Martin's confident of doing it. How confident are you?
Oh, I believe Charles will knock Anthony Joshua out. Because Charles is a very determined individual. And he believes in himself, he believes in his power, he believes in his boxing ability, and he believes in the program that we put him through and the training we put him through. And he's totally physically, mentally, spiritually ready. He's gravitating for this. He wants this so bad. He has something to prove. Because with all they don't know, he's going to let them know, the world know. And he said this is a perfect ground to do it in his backyard and come right here with his fans, as they say. But he said that's his arena too, because Americans built the O2. So he said it's his too.
Well, if what you're saying is correct, it's going to be a very silent O2 come
It's going to be a lot
Saturday
of
night.
sad singing, rose bringing.
I really do think so. I think you're going to have 20,000 fans, and and you're gonna think it's only about 500 in there.
Yep.
Because it's going to be a rude awakening, you know, because it's like I say, Anthony is built up so big here, which is normal for anybody to build up anybody in their country. But once you go into a person with raw talent, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. And see, one thing I look at Anthony, I look at his training, I look at his movement, I look at his work, and I look at Charles. Charles has something that Anthony, I don't think, have right now. That raw talent, that challenge, that I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to see what you got. Regardless of what you hit me with, I'm going to show you what you got. And that's something that I don't see in AJ, but I see it in Charles.
Well, in around 57 hours, we shall find out. I just want that out while we were talking, by the way.
Because see, one thing I like about Charles, this was a while back, about a year or so ago. Areola was in camp, and they called Joe Hanks to go spar with him. And Charles got upset. He said, man, I want to go spar with him. Because at that time, Areola was like here, you know, to Charles. He wanted to go try him and test him. And he got mad. Why I can't? I said, Charles, he's not fighting the southpaw, so why would he spar you? He said, you right, Coach. I said, he was, remember?
It's a lot of sessions that we had that Charles wanted to go to with the top fighters, but they didn't want him because he was a southpaw and they didn't need him.
Exactly.
Now the ones that we did go to camp with, you know, like the Cuban fighters, Solis and all them, we went to camp with them guys, and Charles shut them right off. So now Solis and them, they couldn't do nothing with Charles. So every time we went to camp like that, they wind up taking 2 and 3 days off.
Okay, listen guys, thank you very much for talking to us. And like I said, not long to go now. Wayne tomorrow and Saturday night. It's on, one way or another. The best man will come out on top.
I want to see you cheering.
Well, I just hope they give Charles his respect.
All the way through.
After the fight, like
I have
he
to
did
keep it
before.
professional.
And don't put your head down after the fight.
Hold your head up.
May the best man win come Saturday night.
Yeah, it's all good. It's
all right.
Best man win comes Saturday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
William Hill sponsors Martin vs. Joshua on Sky Sports Box Office.